Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. You are watching BooksAreUs. If you're new on this channel, please subscribe if you haven't yet. We are still in this pandemic, and so I thought of making a video about a book that I read back in February this year. 1. The book setting is related to a pandemic. And 2. It talks about love. And 3. It's my first book introduction from this author's works. I have this book that's been sitting on my bookshelf for a time now, which I'm not reading yet because I'm saving it for later. And this book is the reason this terrific author has won the Nobel Prize Award for Literature. He is known for his writing style using magic realism elements in his books. This one is considered to be his masterpiece. It's the 100 Years of Solitude. But this isn't what we are going to talk about today, but rather for today's video, I am going to feature his another work. This is Love in the Time of Cholera by Gabriel Garcia Marquez. This book is published in 1985 in Spanish as El Amor Los Tiempos del Cólera. I hope I said it correctly. And was later had an English translation published in 1988 from a Colombian Nobel Prize winning author. This also has a movie adaptation released in 2007, which I first saw somewhere, I think, 7 years ago. And only early this year that I was able to finally read the source material, and a lot of differences from book and movie adaptation. They are both okay for me. Anyway, the story is set in the Caribbeans from 1880s up to the 1930s, which spans 50 years through the narrative. So what's the story about? Florentino Ariza and Fermina Daza both have fallen in love during their teenage years. They've had 3 years of courtship. They send love letters secretly to one another. They meet in secret places. Old school courtship and the likes, you know. And they are even agreed to be engaged secretly. Only Fermina Daza's father has found out the relationship and angrily opposes it. And so he has sent his daughter away to another city to Florentino's anguish. They didn't meet for 2 years, but still continues the exchange of love letters even they are far away from one another through a telegraph. By the way, Florentino works in a telegraph office. And finally, when Fermina Daza returns to the original city they live in, which Florentino is so happy, to finally see the love of his life again, only to be denied by Fermina Daza when they met again one day in a market, saying, "It's not you, it's me. Let's forget this. This isn't gonna work. It was just infatuation. I now know better." Or somewhere in those lines, and called off their engagement, which left Florentino heartbroken. And after some time, Florentino soon finds out Fermina is getting married with another man, Dr. Juvenal Urbino, her father's choosing for her, and adds to Florentino's grief again that he wants to kill himself through starvation. Now, moving on, many years go by, and in between, Florentino meets lots of women, and yet he remains a bachelor. He's still madly in love and can't yet move on from Fermina. He engages in many relationships, until one day Florentino learns that Dr. Urbino has died. He immediately goes to pay his respect and console Fermina in her house. The question now is, will Fermina give another chance to Florentino this time? Will Florentino finally receive the sweet yes from Fermina that he was longing all his life, now that she's a widower? I'll stop from there. It's for you guys to find out what happens next. By the way, the story is told by a third-person omniscient narrator. The story unfolds and shifts from present to past and present again. You'll get to have an idea of what takes place in each of our 3 main characters, what happens in their lives along the way. How is the married life of Fermina and Dr. Urbino like? How Florentino Ariza is coping with his grief and his many relationships with women in his life, living as a bachelor. His undying feelings towards Fermina. That's pretty much the story is about. It's basically about relationship and many lives of people from different walks of life. What are your least favorite parts of the book? So there's a part in the book where you'll cringe because at Florentino Ariza's old age, somewhere in his 60s already, yet he still got into a relationship with a, I think, 13 or 14-year-old girl. Though the girl has consent about it, they both have feelings for each other, or so the girl thought. One can deny wondering though, really? It's like 60 years old man having a relationship with a young girl. It's like, I don't know. But yeah, this is a love story, so anything is possible. So what did you like about the book? I like the wonderful writing style. I like the storytelling, except the plot. It's a kind of narrative where a third-person omniscient narrator takes us to the story without so much dialogues to help move the story forward, yet it's compelling in a way. It's my first time reading a book that has few dialogues, literally few dialogues. It's a one-liner of a particular character, then the story moves on to another topic again. It's full of funny moments. I was able to relate to the husband and wife old age fights. I find it really silly, really funny. There's a part there during their old age, the husband takes a bath, but the soap is missing, or he was not able to see where the soap is. And he gets upset, telling his wife, "You've forgotten the soap?" And the wife gets upset too. "I've always been putting the soap there ever since. How come you haven't noticed it?" And just like that, they stopped talking for days, or I think weeks, before the husband completely surrendered and gave up and tried to console his wife. I also like some elements of magical realism in this book. There's a parrot here who talks. It's so funny. I also was able to easily relate to the main character, mainly because I think at one point I've been hurt in my life, or rather we've been hurt at one point in our lives, being, we courted a girl or two when we were young, only to be rejected, unable to eat and sleep, but when you get older you realize, so silly, ridiculous, Though I was expecting a lot from this book, plot lacks something. I was kind of looking for something, in the plot, but it wasn't that extraordinary. But the writing and the storytelling are so good, Still a good read. I can't wait to read this book, 100 Years of Solitude. I'm so excited. As my follow-up to the works of Gabriel Garcia Marquez. So who would you recommend this book to? To all who haven't tried reading Gabriel Garcia Marquez's work, you may want to try this one. It's a book that I read in a long time, where the writing and storytelling, work in harmony, I think. The writing is mesmerizing, though this doesn't fully tackle about a pandemic, mind you. But I think what's pandemic here is the love that Florentino Ariza felt for Mina. It's like a disease that cannot be cured. I think it's the message. It's a metaphorical allusion to love, that once you are infected, it's hard to let go of it. It can make you or break you, But what's more dangerous? We cannot wear any mask. No amount of alcohol or soap and water can get rid of it. Pag tinamaan ka ng pag-ibig, tatamaan ka talaga. If you're into historical books and you like love as its main topic of human follies, how people endure and hope and get hurt because of love, and die and fall in love again, as cheesy as it gets, this is for you. It's funny, full of absurdities, I must say. You may try this one. The book's full of funny anecdotes about relationships, about, the foolishness that we do, the people of human, towards love. It's nice. So there you have it, guys. Thank you for joining me today. We'll talk about more books soon. I'll see you in my next video. If you have read this book already, let me know your thoughts about the book. Let's have a chat on the comment section below. Please don't forget to subscribe if you haven't yet. I hope you like this video that I made. I'm your Pinoy BookTuber. Basa-basa din pag may time. Stay safe. Bye for now.